I'm Zach, and this is my wife, Emily, and this is our son, Max. We built our first house entirely by ourselves, and now we're working on our next project, a small waterfront cabin on a lake in East Texas. So subscribe and follow along. So this time we're going to be working down here. I've got some guys coming, and we're going to try to pour some retaining walls and pour a little slab down here. So it's going to go from here over to that middle post, and then it's just going to go back to this middle section, middle row. So it'll be about a 15 by 15 slab. So on this side, since it's low, we're going to have to build a retaining wall across, and then we'll backfill this area. And then back here we're going to have to dig down probably about 2 feet on that one. And we'll have to pour another retaining wall just to hold that dirt back. So we want to add a slab down here just because it's going to add a lot of space for us. We can kind of make it our utility area, put like the water heater and all kinds of stuff like that, electrical panel down here. It's going to make the foundation really strong once we have the slab and walls here and we get it all sheathed together. It's going to make a really strong box down here that's going to keep the foundation really strong. So these posts, because they're so tall on this tall side, they're going to need a lot of bracing and stuff to keep them from wobbling and shifting. And I kind of thought about different ways to do that with a bunch of cross bracing and stuff, but I decided to go this route because it would be a lot stronger, and it's also going to give us a ton more space. And we also want to build a deck off the front here, so once we have a slab and everything poured, we can easily attach a deck to that and go off the front. So yeah, there's going to be a wall here, and then we're going to have a deck going off that way. And there will also be a deck going off the top here. Yeah, I'm just waiting on these guys to get here, and we'll get started digging. We're going to dig it all by hand, or they are. I'm sure I'll help a little bit. But I'll probably be driving the tractor around. I want to pull all this dirt out of here because it's kind of like a clay mixture. And once we're ready to backfill it, I want to bring in some gravel and some better dirt to do that with. Yeah, I was going to do it all myself, but it's just a ton of digging, and I think I got my fill of digging when I was digging the footings. So it'll be nice to have some guys to help out and get it done quicker. So my concrete guys didn't show up, and I haven't been able to get a hold of them. So I decided just to start digging it myself. I was able to use the tractor, which saved a lot of time. I can just sneak it right in here in between these two posts. And yeah, I was actually able to get like the bulk of the dirt out. So I'm getting pretty close. That's right in the middle there is the level it needs to be. And I just need to cut back into there a little bit further and then just bring this all down. But I've got the bulk of it out. It was right here. This was a pretty big mound in there. It was up as high as, a little bit higher than where that laser level is. Alright, so we're just finishing up some of the sheathing here. And we've finished this whole side. We just have this little piece up there left to do. And we just ran out of material, so I have to wait to finish up this front side. Alright, so we're just about done excavating. We've dug out a little bit more than we need. I just don't want to have to come back and do more digging when we start building the forms. And, this front part's pretty much ready. We just need to dig this out a little bit, and then we're going to start building the forms. We have finished all the digging that we're going to do, and it's looking pretty good. We are ready to build the forms now. I'm going to be drilling into these footings and anchoring some rebar into them just to tie the walls into these footings so it'll be strong. So the digging took a little bit longer than I thought it would. I have concrete scheduled for Wednesday of next week, so it's Friday now, so we have a little bit of time, and we're gonna head back home, rest for a couple days, and I'll come back Monday and do half a day Monday and Tuesday to build the forms and see if we can get ready for concrete on Wednesday. Alright, so me and Timmy were able to get these forms built. Took us 2 hard days, but we got them in. We're going to be anchoring them into these footings. We just used some concrete epoxy anchoring cement. This is going to be a 3-foot by 6-inch wall, and we were able to brace this up to the subfloor, so it's pretty rigid. And we've got rebar on 12-inch centers, and I went ahead and bent some pieces to go around the corners. Then back here I've got a small footing just going back this way. That way it can just help support the wall to keep it from tilting out this way, or to keep it from tilting in. So the pump truck's here, and we're just waiting on the concrete to get here, and then we'll start pouring it. So. So the concrete truck showed up, and once they got it mixed to a good consistency, they went ahead and filled up the hopper of the pump truck. I'm letting the first bit of concrete pump out just on the ground, because you have to let all of the lubricating and cleaning chemicals get pushed out before you start putting it into your forms. And everything was going pretty good until I started to get it filled a little bit over halfway. Then I started to notice the panels bulging in the middle, and then once I filled it up a little more to the top, our top support piece there broke loose. And this was kind of the same story all the way around. It happened a few more times. We ended up just having to pause and add some more bracing, add some clamps, stuff like that. So I calculated that it would take just under 3.5 yards of concrete, and I ordered 4 just to be safe, and we ended up using all 4 yards, so I'm glad I ordered a little bit extra. So it's the next morning. We finished up yesterday, and we were just pretty beat, so I didn't really get to do much filming. But yeah, it did not go very smoothly. I found out that concrete is way heavier than I thought it was, and my forms were woefully inadequate. We had some walls that started trying to bust on these bigger 10-inch walls. We had to use some emergency clamps to hold them in place. I've got a lot of bowing, some bulges in the kind of the middle of the panels, the plywood panels. And yeah, it just did not go very good. A little bit disappointing. Put a lot of work into building these forms, but we definitely rushed it. I should have just given myself another day, and that way we could have just added additional bracing. I watched a lot of videos and I've seen how a lot of people brace them, and I kind of knew that they weren't gonna be strong enough, but I don't know. I guess I was just hoping for the best. So yeah, let's check it out. So these walls down here, these are basically just footings and also to retain the dirt when I backfill this area. So these aren't like really for appearance or anything, they just need to be structurally like really strong, which they should be. But yeah, you can see here this panel started to bust in, and so it's bulging out there in the middle. And it's bulging out on the front side a little bit too. This side held up pretty good. This one stayed really straight. I made this out of 2x10s, so it was really strong. This is the worst one here. So you see we had to throw this clamp on to keep it together. So yeah, it's kind of started to fall in on the inside, and it's also bulging out down there on the outside a little bit. But I mean, these really aren't that big of a deal, because this is all going to be backfilled up pretty far, and there will probably also be a small deck coming off of here. So this isn't like that big of a deal. Like, you'll probably never notice it or even know that it's like that, because I mean the dirt is going to be up above where it's bulging there. So I'm not really that worried about these walls. They just need to be strong so that they can hold the dirt in there when we backfill for the slab. And that's the other thing, when we pour the slab's going to come over the top of these, so I'll have a nice uniform edge for the top of the slab. And then on this front side, there's going to be a deck coming off of here, and this will be backfilled some too. So I was never really worried about these down here. I just wanted the concrete to stay there and to cure so that I would have some retaining walls. But these up here I was a little bit more worried about, just because these are going to be the inside walls of this little room down here. And as you can see, this wall has bowed in that way a little bit. It's not super bad, but it's definitely noticeable. I don't care about the back side because that's all going to be backfilled. This wall stayed pretty straight. It actually did the best. I built this additional framing back here, and it's tied up to the subfloor. So it stayed pretty straight on this side. It did bulge out a little bit back here, but I don't really care about the back side. This little wall stayed straight. This one is bulging in a little bit. Well, it's done. Not really a lot I can do about it now. Um, Definitely learned a ton. So if I pour another concrete wall, I can guarantee you it'll be pretty much perfect. Yeah, I just needed to add a lot more bracing, and like I said, I kind of knew that. We were just out of time, and I was just hoping for the best. At least we didn't have like a full blowout or something. The pump truck operator was telling me pretty much every job he does, he's seen a wall either blow out or bulge. So he said, all in all, our little job here did pretty good. He told me he's seen just a wall explode and just 8 yards of concrete just dump out into the job site. So he made me feel a little bit better. So yeah, it sucks. I wish it would have turned out a little bit better, but we'll work with what we have here. If I have to grind the walls down a little bit, I guess I'll do that. I'm pretty good at grinding concrete now. If you haven't seen my floor leveling video, check that out because that's another fail. But yeah, I'll just add this one to my how not to do it section, and maybe someone else will learn from my experiences. So we're going to start stripping these forms off, if we can catch a break in the rain here. Definitely could see some bowage going on, but looks a lot better without the forms on there. So this is the biggest wall we poured, or the tallest, and it actually turned out to be the straightest. All in all, I think it turned out okay. It was definitely really stressful when we were pumping the concrete in there, and then I just started seeing walls or screws pop, and the wall would just kind of bulge out, and I was like, oh my god, the whole wall is just about to collapse and concrete's going to go everywhere. But we added some more screws, more supports as we went, and thankfully the pump truck guys worked with us and gave us as much time as we needed, really. Didn't turn out quite as perfect as I wanted it to, but yeah, I think it's going to work fine. It's just a little bit more artistic than architectural concrete walls. So I wish I would have gotten more footage of the actual pour and everything, but it was just the two of us, and we just didn't really have time. So next step is going to be to backfill all this, and I'm going to get a compactor so we can start compacting it down as we go. I'm going to bring in some gravel to allow for drainage and stuff. Yeah, then we'll prep and hopefully pour the slab pretty soon. Alright, well that's going to be it for this video, guys. We'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.